That's Mr. Unduka Irabo, the CEO of LMC. I bet from all he's saying, he can't wait to see the reality of the listings of all these clubs on the NASD and see how the 50% stake that will be spun off will come into reality as well. And that leads us into the review of the market for this week. Of course, we'll begin now with the NASD OTC, where the USI, the unlisted security index of that market, came very uptick this week at 5.90%, having touched 660.02 points. The market settled at 446.65 billion naira, with the volume surging by 5% and the value increasing by 5% as well. And what this is rare, the deals that we had for this week on that market, which is an emerging market actually, is put at 97%. We had 120 deals there. The Niger Delta Exploration Production Company, NDEP, and CSCS, as well as Friesland, were the major companies or securities that saw trading on that market this week. And over to the FMDQ OTC markets, where sentiment was not too good this week for the bonds segments. The 2036, 2034, and 2020 FGN bonds were the major securities that had the attention of a few investors. Total deals came in at 47 and total value is put at 5.90 billion naira. Oh, I beg your pardon, this record is actually for Friday, the last trading day for this week. And let's go to the TBU segment of that same market, the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange, where the May 2017, May 11th, 25th, and 18th of May, all 2017, had more interest and transactions from investors, and total deals is 569. All these figures are for yesterday. And for the S&P Nigerian Bond Index, the index level now has settled at 273.58, with the activity yesterday coming in at 0.011%. That's very marginal performance on that index. This should take us down to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where the all-share index came up by 0.90% and settled with market capitalization of 8.90 trillion naira. Volume is put at 786.176 million, and deals is 14,343 for this week. The financial services, consumer goods sector, and generally the services sectors were the main sectors that had good transactions from investors as top gainers or appreciators. Lan Africa, 7-Up, and Dangote Flour that had the numbers that you have, the corresponding numbers you have right there. And if we take a look at the price losers, you have UBA, you have Tranex, or you also have the pharmaceutical sector listed company, May and Baker, having this losses that has been reported for the Nigerian Stock Exchange this week. Now, the vigorous interventions of the CBN in the forex market led to the increase in quantity of supply by 73% in the month of March when compared with sales in February, which is the preceding month. But the impact was felt more at the retail end of the market, where rates were depreciated for invisibles initially to 375 naira to the dollar, and later revalued by 4.17% to 360 naira per dollar. Although there was no change in the market structure, multiple exchange rates persisted in the forex market. But in the capital market, where equities and bonds dominate transactions, what has been the impact? Korede Ologun, who is the equity capital markets person at Pan-African Capital, joins us now to give us his insights. Korede, thank you very much for coming through once again.
Thank you for having me.
So quickly, let us take a look at how this whole CBN interventions has impacted the Nigerian capital markets, equities precisely.
Well, it is possible to commend the central bank governor and his team for bringing back some tangible confidence into the system. I have always clamored for, since the new FX regime, I've always clamored for a system with discipline and elasticity. And obviously what we've seen now is the system is being partly driven by such qualities.
Managed floating in a way.
Do you understand? So for the gain we saw in the exchange rates, it should literally, I mean, it should appeal to equities, but such is not the case here because we still have some fundamental
What are these
issues.
fundamentals?
Okay. Now, normally, a gain in the naira does not necessarily translate into a better economy. You understand? So we have inefficiencies running the market. We have unguided. The market is not guided by fundamentals. And if we look at the gain from February to March 29, about 27% in 12 interventions, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
It cost the CBN about $2.3 billion. Anything close to that on the stock market was a 5-day consecutive rally of about 2.11% from March 14 to March 20. You see, the absence of a direct correlation only tells us that the market is inefficient and not guided by fundamentals. Some of these inefficiencies can be blamed on market participants, because money is placed in this market by agents on behalf of their owners, and agents and fund managers have their own incentives, and in most cases they have access to information.
Okay, we know currently that the domestic investors have now outpaced the foreign investors on the markets. Is this part of the reason?
Well, we can say that the domestic participants are always very short-sighted. They're always very myopic. They want to cash in and cash out. The foreign investors have a longer-term outlook, and when we have seen some movements, when we have people trying to take advantage of every single growth in the market, it becomes an issue for the market. Another thing we can look at is if we had companies that were heavily earning their sales abroad, it's possible that for every 1% drop in the naira, we could add 0.5% to earnings per share. So the absence of all of these basic things, constitutes the issues we are seeing in the market right now.
So basically, negative impacts on the fact that they can't repatriate their funds, and so they have less to invest in the market.
On the issue of repatriation, there are standards for capital control. There are measures that should be put in place for every country so that we don't see capital flights.
Right.
Although we were not able to probably use more of that when the naira started dropping, but the framework is there, and it keeps guiding investors on how to come in and how to come out. So, if we can walk around that,
out, basically.
it's actually there, but because there is no supply of that money, it becomes of the dollars, it becomes an issue for these people to.
All right, Korede, hold on to your thoughts. After this break, we'll continue with the discussion and talk more about the FPIs that we don't have. Stick around, viewers. We'll be right back shortly.